sometimes I have a script, other times I just have a dream. I'm talking about whether dysphoria gets easier the further into your transition you are, because I am old. I am not really an elder trans person, not even remotely. I am still kind of a baby trans person, but I am probably further along than a lot of you that watch this channel and are here for totally cis reasons. If you wondered why I'm dressed professionally, I'm about to go to the ick office to do professional ick work on my professional clothing brand, ick. I'm 4 years in, as we found out last video. Still not blonde, as we found out last video. And I just wanted to talk about whether I suffer from dysphoria still, whether it's lessened, what it's like. As always, it's my own dumbass experience. I think all of this is anecdotal anyway. I don't think you can research this, so icky stay winning. I have a weird relationship with dysphoria. Like, I had it a ton for a long time without realizing, as I talked about in my previous video over there. I didn't really understand a lot of the signs that I was experiencing. I didn't know that meant that I was trans. I didn't really know much about anything, apparently, and still don't. I don't think I experienced a ton of dysphoria in the kind of traditional way, like pre-transition. It was the thing that made me transition. I was experiencing heavy dysphoria when I decided, like, now I gotta transition because I hate my body and how I look and all that stuff. That's probably a big sign. That was dysphoria. And then the early stages of transition, for me at least, they were a mixture between really, really exciting and like crazy dysphoric. The bangs are fighting back, get out of my face. Ah. So obviously you have the joy of like, I've just started, this is so exciting. I had all of that and I was psyched. At the same time, I was very aware that I am now female. People are, using female pronouns. I'm telling people I'm a woman, and I do not match that physical description in the traditional sense. I was very aware of being far away from that goal. I hadn't started HRT, or I just started, whatever. I was very aware. It did not stop me going crazy with the gross fits, though. I will tell you, I had some pretty grim, all pink outfits that are buried and have come up 1 or 2 times, and I hate. I think the joy won over, the excitement, the possibilities, the delusional optimism that I had. I think that won, which is a positive. I'm very happy that it did. It meant that I got to enjoy my baby trans phase. I wasn't focused all that much on the dysphoria, sadness. It did happen a lot when I had to go outside. We were in lockdown, we were in COVID, so I didn't have to go out a ton. But when I did, I was very aware. I would kind of hide, I'd have a big coat. I talked about how I didn't think that I started passing until like 2 years in, and it was probably more like 8 months. I spent a lot of that 2 years kind of hiding. I would wear baggy coats, baggy clothes, extra feminine outfits, just to kind of make up for it. I would say the first 6 months, dysphoria free. Really, I was just too joyous. Okay, not dysphoria free, but like a lot of it was joy, minimal dysphoria, I think. I don't really remember, it's been 4 years. Has my dysphoria lessened? Boo. Oh my God. I'm interrupting the video because I'm doing an ad. Hi, please can you go sub to my Patreon? You get, or YouTube channel memberships. You get the little audio podcast, video podcast thingy that I do by myself right now. It's called Hi, and it's every Thursday, and you will get some behind the scenes stuff. In the future, I'm going to be doing some behind the scenes of ick and just life in general. Ben is going to be a very cool cameraman for me, and it just helps support the channel because of the other content that I do. I don't get like normal ads or anything, so this would really help me out. You guys are great. Thank you. Go back to the video now. Bye. Bye. Go. Shh. Go. It's okay. Don't worry about me. It's fine. Has my dysphoria lessened? Well, I think like year 1 to 2 was like the most dysphoric that I was. I was really struggling with thinking that I passed. I didn't take photos of myself, so I couldn't see all the changes. I just was struggling to see if the estrogen was even working at all. I was just struggling. Keyword, struggling. Icky was struggling. I hadn't figured out my hair, hadn't figured out how to dress. I'd barely figured out makeup. There was a lot of factors at play that meant that, I didn't feel like I was progressing. It'd only been a year or even 2, which is just looking back, really not a long time. Teenagers are teenagers for like like 8 years? How long are you a teenager? You're 10, 11, 12, 13, 5. But puberty lasts like forever. That amount of time, 5 years, whatever, longer than that. It lasts like 10 to 15 years, I'm pretty sure. It can go on for a long time. So it makes sense that second puberty, that lasts the same amount of time. It takes forever. I'm still in the baby stages, even though you get a lot of the changes in the first like 3 years of HRT. That's like your fastest, but it is not your final. So during that like year period, my dysphoria definitely sucked. I wouldn't go out the house as much. I didn't really like how I looked unless I was trying crazy hard. I kind of got to a point where I like was sort of seeing changes, and then I didn't know how to dress, so I preferred my body like without clothes, like doing the grown-up content. It was harder to dress my body in a way that made me pass in my brain, whereas when I was like doing photographs, you know, you could see all the fat and soft skin and whatever it is that makes that register in your brain. As I kind of aged as well, I'm 27 now, my brain has developed, it has grown in my head, it is massive. I know how to function as an adult, apparently, because I am in my late 20s. I feel like I am more mature, whatever, probably not, but I feel it. And so, you know, I kind of am growing used to being a woman and what is expected of women, and societal things of like how we should look and how those are negative, and that kind of plays into it too. I think just basically the longer you live it, the more experience you get, the more confident you are in it. I do get misgendered sometimes. I remember early on that was like the end of my world, and now it still sucks, but it's kind of just like, oh no, like you're wrong. I don't think I've really been misgendered intentionally. I think it's usually an accident with like, I am really like covered up in baggy clothes and I'm tall and I'm like shouting a little bit, so I don't have this perfect feminine voice. They don't register me and they just say a thing. But now like being this far in and having, you know, it be my normal, and my friends know me as a woman, my family, everybody, any new person I meet, it kind of now is just like, you're wrong, buddy. Like, you got it wrong. And there's no like downward spiral of like, this is the worst thing to ever happen to me. Oh my God, I'm gonna spin out forever. I definitely do get dysphoria though. It has lessened over time. I do get it less. Me specifically not taking those photos to see progress really made like a big portion of my transition kind of dysphoria filled, because I couldn't see what was happening, and I just was living with myself, and the changes are so slow as well. They just grow on you and you don't realize. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't got no boobs, you know, they're pretty teeny tiny. So it's not even like I could be like, cool. I think that now being 4 years in, I get dysphoria, but I get it in weird ways. I get it when I'm sad. If I'm sad about something completely unrelated, it kind of comes in just to kick me. It's like, oh, something bad happened in your real life. That sucks. I'm sad. Also, you look like a man. I don't know why my brain is doing this. It just seems to be a thing. I've heard it from other people too. Maybe it's just a thing. Maybe your insecurities kind of get the best of you when you're not feeling 100%. I put on makeup almost every day. I try and dress up because I'm filming or I'm streaming or I'm doing something. So I do get dysphoria when I have like rot days, like when I wear really baggy clothing and I don't do my makeup and my hair is a mess, I get dysphoria. But this is where the wisdom of time comes in. I know that this is just a very common female experience. I think it kind of morphs into like a whole different thing. I think that it is just a shared female experience. I think because I'm a trans woman, I internalize it as dysphoria. There could be a potential that I don't look the way I want to look. And a cis woman just internalizes it as they feel ugly or bad. So for me, I kind of get to explain that to myself now. I know what I'm about. I know if I'm having dysphoria days that it is kind of just a shared female experience. I just get to be like, nah, like a lot of women go through this. It's fairly normal. I would say something that really helped my own personal dysphoria was getting lip filler. There are little things like that that you can do to just kind of touch up little bits of dysphoria, which again is a shared female experience. Cis women go to this stuff all the time. That's why they exist. It's basically at a point beautification, you know, rather than like feminization, which is a gross word because it's been taken by a community of ne'er-do-wells. I have no beef against whatever you're into. I think it's important to remember that you will get dysphoria, no matter what stage in your transition you are. At the early stages of transition, you're kind of asking a lot from yourself to be comfortable. It is kind of gonna be a bit uncomfortable, unfortunately, because you're dealing with a lot. And as you go on in your timeline, you get used to being mammed and missed and etc. and blah, blah, blah. You get used to all of the stuff that comes with being a woman. Misogyny too. You get used to it. I hope this helped you in getting a little bit of an insight into what it's like. I know I'm only 4 years in. Some of y'all will be ahead of me, but those that aren't, here's an insight. I did make a video called like post-trans girl hell like over a year ago, which is kind of what I'm talking about here. I think I get more into what it's like to have gone past that like dysphoria arc into just like, womanhood is hard. Thank you for watching. I am making no promises about the color of my hair next week. Who the hell knows? It should technically be lighter, but I've been wrong in the past. But hopefully I'll see you then. Thank you for watching. Do all the like button stuff. Also, I have a Patreon. Also, I stream. No, please, no, don't leave. No, I promise, like I have. There is a Venn diagram between things that we are, you know, stressed about. All women stress about having a huge dong.